Ever find yourself in a museum, like staring at some masterpiece, and you kind of think, am I missing something here?
Totally, totally. Happens to the best of us, right?
Yeah, like, is it the art itself, or, is there something else going on? How you're supposed to see it. That's what we're diving into today, this whole idea of how we see art.
And, we've got a great guide for this little journey, John Berger, specifically his book, Ways of Seeing.
Classic, for a reason. So Berger, he blew people's minds back in the 70s, right?
Yeah, totally revolutionized how we think about images. Like one of his big things was perspective.
Perspective. Like just seeing things from a certain point of view. Isn't that obvious?
Well, it is now. But Berger pointed out that even that, like the way we see depth on a flat canvas, that was revolutionary back in the Renaissance. Those painters figured out how to create that illusion. But here's the thing.
Go on.
It wasn't just a cool technique. It was deeply, deeply connected to power.
Whoa, okay, hold on. Power? How does perspective equal power?
Think about it. That single perspective, where you, the viewer, are positioned as the center of the world, it kind of reinforces this idea that there's only one right way to see things. And guess what? That right way usually lined up perfectly with whoever was in charge at the time.
Okay, I think I see what you mean. So for centuries, it's all about this fixed viewpoint. This is the way to see the world. And then, bam, photography comes along.
Right, like game over. Suddenly you've got a million different ways to capture the same thing, the same person, whatever.
It's so true. Like a king who used to be stuck in those like superposed royal portraits, now he's caught off guard, laughing, sleeping, who knows?
Exactly. Berger argued that this was huge because it shattered that single authoritative view. Like, you
Cool.
can't control your image anymore. It becomes more human, more relatable.
Way more real, for sure. And the research talks about how this wasn't just about photography either, like even TV, right?
Totally. Moving pictures, constantly shifting angles. We're swimming in different perspectives all the time now.
It's true. So, okay, if everyone's seeing things differently, what does that even mean for how we understand art?
Right. Well, Berger called this the democratization of interpretation. He did this fascinating experiment with school children and a Caravaggio painting. If you don't know Caravaggio, think dramatic biblical scenes, super intense light and shadow.
Okay, I can picture it. So, what happened with the kids? Did they even care about Caravaggio?
Right. So these kids, they had no background in art history, which actually turned out to be the point. They looked at this painting and they came up with these amazingly fresh, totally unexpected interpretations.
Like what kind of interpretations? Give me an example.
Well, for one, some of the kids thought Jesus in the painting was a woman.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and others thought the figure might be transgender. They weren't limited by, like, centuries of art historical baggage. They were seeing it with fresh eyes.
That's so cool. And it make me think, right? Like sometimes knowing too much can almost make you overthink art.
Totally. Which, by the way, connects to another big thinker who influenced Berger, Walter Benjamin. He had this whole concept about the aura of art.
Aura. Okay, I've heard that before, but I'm not sure I totally get it. Break it down for me.
So aura is like this unique presence, this almost sacred energy that comes with experiencing an original work of art. It's connected to its history, its journey through time. Like, think about seeing a band live versus just listening to a recording room. There's an energy and aura you just can't replicate.
That makes sense. So what does this aura thing have to do with perspective and photography and all that?
Well, Benjamin argued that photography and mass production, they kind of mess with the aura. When you can reproduce something a million times over, it loses that unique presence that you had to be there quality.
Oh, interesting. So does that mean that a photograph or like a digital artwork is less valuable just because it's not one of a kind?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's something our sources really grapple with: what gives art value? Is it the big price tag, the authenticity of the original, or is it about how it speaks to us, regardless of how it was made or how many copies exist?
Especially in our digital world where everything can be copied and shared instantly. So where does that leave us? How are we supposed to make sense of art if there's no one right way to see it?
Well, I think that's the beauty of it, right? It's about embracing those multiple perspectives. It challenges us to question not just what we see, but also what we value and who gets to decide what's good or important.
That's a powerful thought. So next time you're at a museum or scrolling through art online, don't be afraid to trust your gut. Be open to different interpretations, even if they go against what the experts say.
Exactly. Embrace the debate. Find what resonates with you, because ultimately that's what makes experiencing art so incredible.
Absolutely. And that's our deep dive for today.